Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new deck profile. In this one, I'd like to take a look at a Lost Zone deck from the set Surging Sparks. So Lost Zone is certainly one of the most Marmite style decks in the Pokemon TCG as of late. So what I mean by that is you either love it or you hate it, and in some cases you despise it, because Sableye's had a lot of controversy in the past. Admittedly, it's more or less disappeared, I think, in favor of Dusclops, but yeah, Sableye, a bit of a menace, and we'll talk more about this in case, you're unfamiliar with how Lost Zone works. But what kind of drove me to make this deck in the first place is actually a new card called Eternatus. Now, I really like Eternatus as a Pokemon, but this is the first single prize Eternatus card that we've actually got, aside from the Radiant, which came out in Crown Zenith. So I figured it'd be fun, to try and make an Eternatus deck work. So Eternatus has two very, okay-ish attacks. Dynablast does 10 damage and then 80 more if your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, so you can poke for 90 in an emergency. But why we are really playing this card is for World Ender. I think they said World Eater, but no, it's World Ender, which for a Fire Double Dark, does 230 damage, and you have to discard a Stadium card in play. If you can't, this attack does nothing, but fortunately for us, we play plenty of Stadiums, so it's not a big issue. The card does share some similarities, however, with Roaring Moon EX. So Roaring Moon EX, for 2 dark and a colorless, says 100 damage, and you may discard a Stadium card in play. If you do, this attack does 120 more. So very, very similar, to Roaring Moon EX. But we also play Roaring Moon EX not just for Calamity Storm, but also Frenzy Gouging, which is essentially a 1-hit KO move on our opponent's active Pokemon, which is really useful against the more tanky Pokemon that we can't reach with Eternatus. And if you do, however, this Pokemon does 200 damage to itself. So you leave yourself wide open to be finished off, but the off-trade is, of course, you get 2 prizes first. So yeah, that's why we play Roaring Moon EX in the deck. But in case you don't know how Lost Zone works, basically we just got this Comfey here with the ability Flower Selecting. Once during a turn, if it's in the active spot, we can look at the top 2 cards of our deck, but one them into our hand, and the other card goes in the Lost Zone. And we basically just want to pivot between Comfeys in a very repetitive, stale process of choosing cards, and then, hopefully getting a bunch of cards in the Lost Zone. So we can use trainers like, where is it? Mirage Gate, there we go. Mirage Gate. So we can only use this card if we have 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone, but we get to search our deck for 2 basic energy cards of different types, and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. So in the case of Eternatus, you will need a Dark Energy in hand, because Mirage Gate will only find Dark and Fire to attach. That's a very easy, common mistake, easy to make. So be careful. But yeah, that's kind of like the main premise of the deck. We've also got some other alternate attackers like this Cramorant, which can attack for free if you have 4 more cards in the Lost Zone, which is very easy. Spit Innocently just does 110 damage base, which is quite nice for either softening up 2 prize Pokemon, or just, sniping things like Charmander or whatever. So Cramorant's quite nice in that sense. Also got Radiant Charizard, which is a Radiant of choice in this deck. I think it's a little bit better than Blood Moon or Salona sometimes, so I quite like it. You could also play both, or, you could swap this out for Radiant Greninja, but honestly, I'm a bit tired of using Radiant Greninja, truth be told, so I just wanted to try this guy out again. So, feel free to switch the stuff around a bit, but yeah. Just wanted to do Radiant Charizard for a change. But yeah, has the ability Excited Heat, which says this Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless less for each prize card your opponent has taken. And then Combustion Blast does 250 damage for 5 energy, but of course you want to just use this in the late game. But during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Combustion Blast, which is a wee bit of a shame. But hey, you probably don't need to use this more than once or twice anyway, because you'll either win or you'll lose. So, it's fine. So yeah, that's Radiant Charizard. Also got Manaphy in here just for some extra bench protection against Radiant Greninja, funnily enough. And we've also got Sableye, which can decimate boards, but Sableye honestly isn't super important in this list. It's more so to just soften up targets for Eternatus, Roaring Moon, and Radiant Charizard. So we're not really trying to use Sableye too much, unless we can exploit our opponent's board, and they've been careless to bench loads of Pokemon that are easily sniped, but aside from that, the energy count kind of just leans itself to an even split, so you can build it around it, but having Psychic Energy in the deck as well just means that we can spend it to pivot around Comfey and such, so yeah, that's kind of why that's there. As for the trainers, nothing too crazy. 4 switching card just to move out the active spot, also heals 30 damage, which is nice. 1 Defiance Band because we're not actually doing a ton of damage to begin with. Buddy-Buddy Poffin's just here to find Manaphy and Comfey. We've also got a Lost Vacuum, which is quite nice. Just allows it to send a card from your hand to the Lost Zone, as well as a tool card or stadium card in play. Usually just something on your opponent's side of the field. I mean, we can send our own stadiums to the Lost Zone if we really wanted to, but, that feels like it kind of defeats the purpose of setting up Eternatus to use World Ender, which kind of requires a stadium, and, Roaring Moon requires a stadium, so, seems about right. And we also have, okay, where is it? What am I thinking of? There we go. Neutralization Zone. So I haven't actually experimented that much with this card before, trying out this deck. So basically what this stadium does is prevent all damage done to Pokemon that don't have a Roblox, both yours and your opponent's, by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. So you do have to be careful here, because if your opponent wants to attack with single price Pokemon, and you put this stadium in play, then your Roaring Moon can't attack. So that's just like one thing really you have to bear in mind. But aside from that, this is a pretty good card. It just kind of shuts down some decks if they don't have a stadium counter for it. I know some stadiums are really popular right now, like Area Zero. But aside from that, a very pesky stadium to deal with. And we also have 1 copy of Beach Court here. I know Beach Court is a bit of a risky card because it does help your opponent out quite a bit. But I do like it for just bouncing around Comfeys. So, just made a lot of sense. Also got 1 Roxanne just for late game to provide some nice shuffle and, well, a bit of disruption as well, but mainly shuffle draw power. And also got 3 regular switches, some Pokégears, and some stuff recovery. So, yeah, nothing really much else to say about the list apart from like TM Devolution kind of makes sense just with Sableye. But yeah, I mean, what can you say about Lost Zone that hasn't already been said a million times before? But I'm aware that some players might be unfamiliar with the deck and how it works. So there you go. Hopefully it's explained, I guess, in some level of detail. But yeah, it's been our power. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about Eternatus. If there's any other ways to power this up and play it, then that'd be cool. But yeah, it's been our power. And yeah, thank you for watching. What I will do is Colress. And we'll take the Eternatus, we'll take Roxanne, we'll take the energy. So goodbye to more Comfeys, don't need them. So yeah, very big hand now. Thing is, we don't really have another attacker ready to go. I will just pop in very quickly to see what's in the deck. No, I don't want Manaphy on the bench. It's a bit of a liability. We do have another Cramorant. We do, of course, have Sableye. And we do have an Nest Ball. Counter Catcher, probably worthless in this game. Super Odds, cool. We'll need them. Artazon, that's fine. And a bunch of energy. So yeah. I could go ahead and start attaching energy. Pretty pointless to attach energy to Eternatus, though. We do have Mirage Gate. It just feels a bit premature. Yeah, it feels premature. I think we'll get hit with the Iono, but I'll just spit instantly. I think we'll be fine, to be honest. Like, even if they hit us with an Iono, at the very least, we still just have more Comfeys to fall back on. So yeah, opening Radiant Charizard was a bit rough. Okay, there's our other switching cards. That's nice. So Neutralization Zone would have forced them to find a stadium, but I think we'll be okay. So here comes the boy Charizard. Bit of a pain. So it might just be a case of using Roaring Moon, and then we'll try and use Eternatus on Rotom, but I think that's probably just going to be maybe a bit too much, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. How many Dark Energy are in the Lost Zone? 1 Dark Energy, okay. We do have to be careful we don't run out of Dark Energy. So we'll need Rod at some point, which is a bit annoying. We also just need Dark Energy in hand as well, that's another thing. In fact, if we only have 2 Dark Energy in deck left, we won't be able to do it. It's a good point, actually. And we'll see how it goes. Burning Darkness for damage. So he's doing a lot of damage now with Charizards, but okay, I don't know, that's fine. So we say goodbye to all of this stuff. Get 6 new cards though. Not the worst actually. I would like to shuffle the deck though. So we can do that with Comfey potentially if we get Colress. I suppose Super Rod's fine. So yeah, 270. I mean, I think this is still a fine spot to be in. Artazon, it's pretty good. Just means we can shuffle the deck. So yeah, Artazon will allow us to put a... I could use Eternatus actually. What's the Lost Zone looking like again? 7. No, we'll just get Cram. I think it's going to be a Cram turn anyway, so we were okay for prizes. Power selecting. Oh, flower selecting rather. Not necessary. Yeah, we'll send that away. I don't think we need it. So we'll switch cart. Use Comfey. We're kind of just digging for a Colress, really. So flower selecting for a... it's not super useful. Take energy. I could do this, actually. Yeah, we'll do this. And then a skateboard here. Retreat here. And then we can spit innocently. So again, not a bad position really, just because we can always KO Charizard with Radiant Charizard if we really have to, but it's not ideal. So here comes the scary Dusclops. That is a bit scary. Arvin for what? Rare Candy, maybe? Is this Rare Candy Ultra Ball for Pidgey? Yeah, Dusclops is a bit scary. Ultra Ball. Okay. Is this for another Dusclops or Dusknoir for next turn? Because Dusknoir is annoying. Yeah. Okay. Uh-oh. This is a bit of a pain. Not gonna lie. So Cramorant goes down, or Charizard goes down. Okay, maybe they're going after Charizard. So we get a prize. Counter Catcher, okay. On the Charizard? Interesting. Not really what I would have done in that situation, but if it works for them, it works for them, you know? Interesting play. Because now we really don't need a lot to just win the game. Because they've still got to take 3 more KOs after this turn, so I don't think we're in a bad spot at all, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure I fully agree with spending 2 prizes and a Dusknoir board just to KO one of my attackers that's not even a huge threat. Not sure I would have done that, to be honest, but we'll see. We'll see, you know, it might pay off for them. So, yeah, they get their own Artazon, that's fine. So really, all we need to do is KO this. Or Counter Catcher for this. But I mean, they're both just as easy to KO right now, so... Very interesting. Interesting choice, but we'll see. Now, if I just had a bit of a better hand, then that would be good. Mirage Gate, okay, that's a piece. I will Artazon for a... Hang on a minute. I could Sableye them, actually. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all, actually. You know what? We'll just see if we can get away with an Eternatus play for the win. We'll see. I will flower selecting. Yeah, we'll flower selecting. Neutralization Zone, I guess. It's fine. Because we still have another Comfey to work with, so... Retreat. And then Comfey's. Basic energy. One time. Just want a basic energy. It's not a basic energy. Fine, fine, we'll do this the boring way. It's annoying. I would have liked to do this the fun way, but I'm not going to take any risks, so... Nest Ball for Sableye. This is definitely the boring way of doing things, but... Yeah, we'll Mirage Gate. I think this has to be to just one Pokemon. Oh, it's just any way you like. Fair enough. So yeah, we'll Psychic here. We'll put a Dark Energy there. And then we just lost mine, so... Yeah, a bit annoying. We nearly had the Eternatus victory. We were 1 energy shy of it, which is, yeah, very frustrating, but... I mean, you can see how it all comes together. You know, you hit something with Cram, then use World Ender. I'll just put that in play to add a nail to the coffin if we need it to. And then lost mine. So 5 here, 6 there. So 4, 5, 6. And then 3, 4, 5. And then I guess 10 here is fine. So yeah, GG's. So I think their Dusknoir is what, you know, was their undoing in the end. Their own Dusknoir. That and using Artazon to get another one out. We would be in a much worse spot, much more rough spot actually if they hadn't got that out into play, but yeah, we're fine. No worries. No worries.